Good morning, all. Depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice radio. So today, I'm going to be looking at a couple of new grass Pokemon coming in Champion Road that, to put it bluntly, kind of have a thing for special conditions. Now, our translations today come from the lovely David Hochmann, Mr. RappelmannTCG himself. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel, we look at all of the new cards, except some of the pre-evolutions. Sometimes it might go into a pointless cards video, and sometimes we might group a couple together. We're looking at all the cards, because, and I've said this a few times, sometimes cards look bad, and everyone says they're bad. And then somebody goes and gets second place at Worlds of them, Reuniclus. So, I think it's really important to know what every card does, and yeah, I'm a positive dude, but I do think it's important. So today, we're looking at a couple of grass Pokemon that they're not the most amazing cards, but I do think they could be fun under the right circumstances. Now, they are both grass Pokemon. We're talking about Victreebel and Cacturne, if you haven't realized yet. And being grass Pokemon, they don't have many particular things to play with. I mean, Forest of Giant Plants has been rotated out, which kind of sucks. You do have the Promo Lurantis that lets you do an extra 20 damage for all of your grass and fire Pokemon's attacks, but I feel like if that was going to be a good card, it would be good with something like Tapu Bulu or Golisopod. I don't think it's going to be great because we've had really good partners and it hasn't been great so far. They are both weak to fire, given that they are grass Pokemon, so stuff like Volcanion will be like, hey, what's going on? And they are both grass Pokemon, so they hit weakness against Lycanroc, which is actually kind of good, because Lycanroc is a really good card right now, and certainly Lycanroc Zoroark it's doing very well in the current format. So starting off then, let's have a look at the old Victreebel. Victreebel has 140 HP, which is really low for a Stage 2. I mean, cards like Dragonite show us we should be looking at 160 at the moment for Stage 2s in the Sun and Moon era. 140 is very low, and a retreat cost of 2 is basically the worst in the game, because you can't use Heavy Ball, although that will be rotated like a month after this card comes out. There is an ability here, and I love the ability. The ability is amazing. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If head, switch a Pokemon from your opponent's bench with their active Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, this ability is Pokemon Catcher. It's literally just a free Pokemon Catcher every turn. And let's be clear, gusting effects are always good. Back in the SP era, Luxray GL Level X was amazing because it was about the only gusting effect we had. We call them gusting effects because the very first one was Gust of Wind back in the base set. Incidentally, that card was amazing. There was a time when all we had was Pokemon Reversal, which is as Pokemon Catcher is nowadays, and the entire format was just based around who could hit heads on their reversal flips. Then Pokemon Catcher came out without a coin flip, and the format was kind of ruined because we had that and we had Junkarm. Then Lysander came out, and Lysander was amazing. Now we've got Guzma, and Guzma is amazing. Catcher effects are always good. Let's be clear about this. Always good. But here's the thing. We've had this ability before, and I don't know how many of you remember, but I do. There was a Ludicolo from Primal Clash that had this exact same ability as a Stage 2 grass Pokemon, and I know that it did, because I bought a playset of these, and I tested, and I tested, and I tested. I thought Miltank would be quite good with this. Miltank did 80 damage for 1 energy if you had a Stage 2 on the bench, but then you'd just be using a Pokemon Catcher every turn. And I tried, ladies and gentlemen. Oh lordy, how I tried. And it wasn't good. And if Ludicolo was a Stage 2 grass Pokemon that had this ability and wasn't particularly good, I don't know if we can really look at Victreebel and say it's going to be a Stage 2 Pokemon with this ability that's going to be really good. Because Ludicolo came out when we still had Forest of Giant Plants. And I was testing Ludicolo when we had Forest of Giant Plants before it got banned. and Victreebel has to rely on rare candy. Let's be super clear about this. This is a great ability. If you can find a way to get Victreebel out fast enough, it is a great ability. Maybe Leafeon GX will help with its GX attack that evolves all of your basic Pokemon for 1 grass energy and has energy evolution Eevee, so if you go second, you can do this on your first turn of the game. Maybe that will work. But honestly, we've had this ability before and it wasn't a game changer. If you can get it out, though, I guarantee it is a great ability. We would all love a free Pokemon catcher every turn, and if you get multiple Victreebel, you've got multiple of them. What I don't love is the attack. Free energy, but you can't use double colourless because it's grass, colourless. 80 damage. And you've got to flip a coin to get burn. You don't even get automatic burn. Now, usual things when we talk about burn, you've got Weller Volcano Park, which says that essentially your opponent cannot flip a heads to get out of burn. They're still burned even if they flip a heads. And we've got Infernape, which means that burn does 6 damage counters between turns rather than 2. But of course, I'm already telling you that this isn't particularly good as a stage 2. Do you really want to add in another stage 2? I don't think you do, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I'm going to be giving this 2 Aussies. I don't think it's a particularly great card. However, the ability here is nuts good. If you can get it out, but it's not worth playing for itself. I guarantee if this ability was on a basic Pokemon, we'd all be putting a couple copies in every deck we ever make, ever. Because we'd be in so many games where flip a coin and you win. On a stage 2, it's not good enough. But we also have a Cacturne coming out that uses the old special conditions, and it's looking alright. 110 HP is a bit low for a stage 2, and okay, this is a stage 1, but it's still low for a stage 1. Tapu Koko is a basic that has 110 HP. It's not the only one. No, this is too low. At least it's got a retreat cost of 1, which is very low. The ability here is Poison Barb. If this active Pokemon is damaged by your opponent's attack, the attacking Pokemon is poisoned. It's literally just Poison Barb. And weirdly enough, Cacturne, the unevolved, the pre-evolved, whatever you want to call it, has the same ability here. So at least it keeps the ability as you keep going. As for how good the ability is, it's not particularly great. You can have it with Poison Barb on any Pokemon that you like, which is kind of sad. And it hasn't seen much play as Poison Barb, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, I know Poison Barb can be gotten rid of with a Field Blower, whereas this can't. It's still not amazing. I should mention Viper here, which means that your poison will then go up and do extra damage. That's kind of cool. But to be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's uninspiring. It's not terrible, it's just uninspiring. Now, the attack is kind of verging into terrible territory. Free colourless energy. Upside, yeah, you can use double colourless energy. Downside, it's free colourless energy. 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Or to put it another way, the same thing that Alolan Ninetales does for a double colourless. Now, to be fair, Alolan Ninetales actually uses this attack very often. But Alolan Ninetales also has a really good main attack and an amazing GX attack, and uses this attack as kind of a time filler, you know, getting some damage on the field before you use one of the good attacks. People don't play Alolan Ninetales just for this. Now, I should mention Decidueye here. It's a grass Pokemon that does 20 damage with an ability to one of your opponent's Pokemon during your turn. So that means you can combine this with Cacturne here to really start kind of peppering all the damage around. Whoop whoop. But it's not good enough on its own. This is the kind of attack that you combine with other stuff like Decidueye, like Tapu Koko, and then it becomes kind of cool. But it is not the kind of attack where you go, oh my god, I am playing this just for this one Pokemon. Because it's not good enough. And that's a little bit sad, but unfortunately, it's the way it is. I'm also going to be giving this Pokemon 2 Aussies. It's not a great Pokemon, but that's okay. Because maybe some point in the future, having a Pokemon that can poison while spreading 50 here or there is actually going to be kind of useful. Maybe we'll get a card that reduces the cost of grass Pokemon by 1 colourless energy, kind of like Dimension Valley for Psychic Pokemon. And then with a double colourless energy, sniping 50 is going to be good enough. Either way, I like looking at every card. I like to know about every card. And I know that a lot of you guys like knowing about every card. So you know what? That's what we're doing here. These are underwhelming grass Pokemon, I grant you. But I kind of enjoy looking at them and thinking about how they could be useful. And hopefully you guys do too. But I want to hear from you in the comment section. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me if you can find a use for them. Go nuts. But be nice. We can be nice to each other, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice. Let's all disagree in a very friendly, cheerful manner. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWossy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And do check out my other channel, Wossy Plays. We're close to 1,000 subs, and I'm going to love it when we get there. And of course, the most important thing by far, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.